The Detroit Lions are currently pulling off one of the best and fastest rebuilds of all time. We can't forget that the Lions started the season 1-6, and they fought their way back all the way to 9-8, which is absolutely absurd. I predicted the Lions to go 9-8 at the end of this season, and when they were 1-6, I was really down. The Lions had a lot of young talent that really stepped up and developed, especially in the second half of the season. That really helped their team. But one of the main reasons the Lions are where they are right now is Jared Goff. Goff was an animal this season, one of the best quarterbacks in the league, especially in the second season. This was huge for the Lions. Not only did the Lions confirm Jared Goff as their QB1, making the Lions save their draft picks and use them on other players and not needing to look at quarterbacks in the draft because they have Goff, who's just a beast. But the Lions also have Goff at an insane price for the next 2 years at only $25 million for 2023 and $26 for 2024. And not to mention, the Lions totally won this trade. Well, I guess both sides won, as Stafford and the Rams won a Super Bowl, and I was happy to see Stafford win a Super Bowl, but 2 first-round picks and a third-round pick and Goff. The Lions also had the fewest amount of turnovers in the NFL. Out of all the teams, the Lions had the fewest turnovers. That's absurd. That's an insane accomplishment for the Lions. And not to mention, the Lions did this as the youngest team in the NFL. The youngest team, let that sink in. That's crazy. Goff led one of the best and strongest offenses in the NFL this season. Goff was top 5 in QBR in the second half of the season. He was insane. I'll have to make a whole nother video on just Jared Goff. I still feel that Goff is underappreciated and underrated in the NFL, especially his performance this season. He just got promoted to go to the Pro Bowl, but it's only because Jalen Hurts is going to the Super Bowl. He should definitely have already been in the Pro Bowl. Maybe it's just my Lions fan bias or opinion coming out that I think Jared Goff is underrated, which I don't even give out on this channel because I keep a level of 0 opinion and 0 bias in my videos. But I don't think that's it. Like, Goff set an insane record of 304 consecutive passes without an interception. Like, that's crazy. Why is no one talking about that? That's the 5th longest in NFL history. And the streak is still alive. It's going to go into next season. The last 9 games of the season, Goff threw 15 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. That's unbelievable. Now, obviously, we also got to talk about Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson was one of the best offensive coordinators in the NFL this season, and he's staying for next season, which is unbelievable. He worked super well with the Lions offense. He drew up amazing plays. He had crazy plays too, like the pitch lateral against Green Bay to win that game, and the insane pass to Sewell to ice the games for the Vikings. Unbelievable. He helped lead one of the strongest offenses in the NFL this season. I can't wait for next season. I'll have to make another video on this topic. All these different things in the video. I'll have to make separate videos to go more in depth on them because there's just so much the Lions have going for them. Next, I want to look at the Lions offensive line. This year, the Lions had one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. To end the season, they were ranked 8th in the league, but I would definitely argue they're a lot higher. And I mean, the Lions are always hated on and underrated in the NFL, especially in rankings. So, like, for next year's Super Bowl betting, Vegas had Green Bay having a higher chance to win the Super Bowl than the Lions. Like, what? First up in the Lions offensive line, we have Penei Sewell, a first-round pick in 2021, and he was an amazing addition to this Lions offensive line. He played a great season. Obviously, the highlight was when he caught the first-down pass from Goff to seal the win against the Vikings. This was incredible as well. Super cool play from Ben Johnson. Now, there's also a funny story that Dan Campbell had about this, but it was on the Pat McAfee show, so I'm not really a fan of him, but I'm going to cut him out and still play it.
We're in that situation, and the fans are doing the wave around the stadium, and so I'm just watching, and I hear Ben Johnson's like, "Hey, coach, you want to?" I'm so focused on the wave. I said, "Yeah, that's fine." And I look up, and we're throwing it to Penei, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" Coach said it was fine, but it worked out great.
And we also got Taylor Decker, who played amazing. Him and Sewell started every game this season at tackle, and they were both dominant. And then the Lions have Frank Ragnow, who just missed 1 game this season, also played amazing. And for the guards, Jonah Jackson and Evan Brown Jackson, a Pro Bowler in 2021, both played amazing once again. No wonder the Lions offense was so good this season because they had just this good of an offensive line. They have 3 first-round picks in there, a 3rd-round pick. They give the 2nd least amount of sacks in the NFL this season. They were just dominant. And everyone knows in the backfield, the Lions have Swift and Jamaal Williams. Everyone loves these two in the backfield. They're just a crazy duo. I always look at the duo as Swift is the one making the flashy plays. He's the playmaker. He turns nothing into something. I always think about this play against Washington. We're on 3rd and 15. Goff slips it to Swift, and he falls and then finds his way into the end zone. This play keeps me up at night. I still don't understand it. It's just unbelievable. And while Swift is doing all the flashy stuff and hopefully staying out of injuries, Jamaal Williams is always there to consistently punch it through for a few yards, especially into the end zone. As everyone knows, he broke Barry Sanders' touchdown record as he got 17 touchdowns this season, which is crazy. Swift is there for, I believe, 2 more years. Jamaal Williams says he wants to come back next year. I feel like the players really love the environment and team chemistry the Lions have going on right now. The face of that is Dan Campbell. I loved Dan Campbell from the very first press conference we had. I will admit I was questioning him at the beginning of the season when we were 1-6. I was like, if we don't do good this season and bounce back, is next year really a good idea to keep him there? But I guess I should have just had faith. I was just being a greedy, horny Lions fan that wanted wins, but I knew they still had it in them. I believed them all year, watched them all year. I had them going 9-8, and I was right. They could have made the playoffs. It would have been amazing, but I can't wait for the next upcoming years. Continuing with the Lions offense, everybody loves Amon St. Brown, the leading Lions receiver with 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns, and over 100 receptions. He was clutch all season. On 3rd down, I always saw him getting the ball. He always found a way to get open, always making plays. Unbelievable season for Amon St. Brown. Caleb Raymond was also insane for the Lions. 47 receptions, 600 yards. He had the insane catch against the Packers to set up the touchdown run. He's also crazy. Brown and Raymond and the next guys I'm about to mention, they're all young wide receivers. The Lions core is just so young, and I'm expecting a lot for the upcoming season, and I'm excited. The Lions also have Josh Reynolds, who played amazing this year, 479 yards, 3 touchdowns, and they also have DJ Chark, also played insane this year, 500 receptions. He's super fast. He's a super low 40 time. Excited to see more from these guys as well. And lastly, on my wide receivers list, we can't forget Jameson Williams, one of my personal favorites. He had a 41-yard touchdown on his first catch this season and only catch, averages 41 yards per catch, which is absolutely insane. If you forgot or don't know, he tore his ACL in the championship game against Georgia last year. He's from Alabama, and last year the Lions drafted him 12th overall in the 2022 draft. He didn't play much, but everyone knows he's insanely good. He also had a 61-yard touchdown against the Packers that got called back for holding because the refs are in Green Bay's pocket, and this would have been also insane. 2 touchdowns, 2 catches in the NFL, but obviously I had to get called back because fuck the Packers. Sorry, I let my emotions get the best of me. I know I got to keep a 0 bias on my channel because I don't give out my opinion, but Brad Holmes also said that he expects more from the number 12 overall pick. Probably just needs some more game time. The Lions probably didn't want to risk an injury as he came back in week 13. I can't wait to see him play next year. I'm really excited, but also a lot of people don't know this. He's the fastest player in the NFL. He's a faster 40 than Tyreek Hill. So next cheetah, next speed demon, best overall. And lastly, for the offense at the tight end position, the Lions have James Mitchell and Brock Wright. James Mitchell, a rookie, played amazing, and Brock Wright, after going undrafted in 2021, he was a great pickup by the Lions and also played amazing. The Lions made a phenomenal move, trading TJ Hutchinson to the Vikings for a 2023 second round pick and a 2024 third round pick, showing just how deep they are in all their positions as both their tight ends stepped up, showing they don't even need Hutchinson. And also, who even wants fucking Hutchinson? I bet he had a great time losing the first round of the playoffs. Can't wait to watch him watch the fucking Lions win the fucking division the next 4 years as the Vikings can't do anything. Because I just want to remind everyone, I'm trying to keep a level of no bias on this channel. I never give out my opinion, but Hutchinson can suck my... Nah, but it was just embarrassing what he said. If you don't know, just look it up. Read it yourself. He said some shit about I can't wait to win games with the Vikings. I finally can say that shit, and then... Dude, just fuck him. Now, before I move on to the defense, I want to talk about the Lions drafting and Brad Holmes. Lions VP Brad Holmes has been insane for the Lions with picking up players, drafting. He's crazy, but he's also from a different planet. Must be an alien, but he can predict the future. Now, remember all that talent I've listed that the Lions already have. They went 9-8, and they had so much talent, and they're super young, and I'm about to name a bunch more talent on defense. Just think about that. They're already like a set team. And the Lions have the 6th pick in the upcoming draft, via the Rams and the 18th pick. They have all this talent and they have 2 picks in the top 18. That's insane. And the Lions also have the Vikings 2nd round pick next year, and in 2024 they have the Vikings 3rd round pick. So for the Lions upcoming drafting, it's looking amazing. Moving on to the Lions defense, everybody knows Aidan Hutchinson. Finals for Rookie of the Year, 9.5 sacks, 3 interceptions. He was crazy, the opposite of a bust. And the Lions 4 rookies here set an NFL record for the most sacks from rookies, 20.5 from 4 players. That's crazy. You're telling me they did this their rookie season? I can't wait to see what's next. They can only get better and become stronger together as a defense. It's unbelievable. And also Jeff Okudah was crazy for the Lions this season. Also 1st rounder in 2022. He battled some injuries this season, so he wasn't in as much as I would like to see, but expecting great things from him in the future. I'm excited to see him keep playing. In Lions safety, Kirby Joseph had an unbelievable rookie season. Picked off Rodgers 4 times, Hater will say it's 3 times. Also, go look at his Twitter page, his banner's mad funny. Now, defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn. He was extremely hated on at the beginning of the season when the Lions defense was the worst in the league. Now, the Lions have taken us fans on a lot of emotional roller coasters. I mean, Jared Goff last season, he had some struggles and a lot of people hated on him, and I didn't hate on him a ton, but a little bit. I've lost some faith in Goff. And then Dan Campbell this season, I definitely admit I lost faith when we were 1-6. But Aaron Glenn is the one person that I haven't lost any faith with whatsoever. And that might sound weird, especially if you're a Lions fan. Especially because Aaron Glenn was like one of the most hated Lions coach this season, especially in the beginning of the season. Also, just want to make sure when I'm saying like I lost faith with Goff and Campbell, it wasn't like I was hating on him. I was just like, oh, this isn't looking good or whatever. It's just being a fan. I'm a diehard Lions fan. I'll always support the Lions fan. I'm not like one of those asshole fans because there's a lot of fucking shitty posts out there that come out. I read something saying something along the lines of a defensive coordinator needs to see another team's offense multiple times before he can make a fair assessment with his defense on what to do and what the game plan will be. And this really showed for Aaron Glenn as later in the season he started to get things together and the Lions defense really improved. And also, not to mention, Lions fans can't forget, the Lions have one of the youngest team in the NFL, so their defense also is extremely young, and it takes time to build them up together and form that team connection where everyone knows what they're going to do and what the game plan is. As you can see, the Lions have built something extremely special. I can go into so much more about the defense, offense. There's so much more to get into about this team and what to expect next year. I'm going to make multiple videos breaking down more in-depth different topics, but that's going to be the end of this video. If you guys enjoy my content, I would really appreciate if you could like and subscribe. It really helps me out a lot. And once again, fuck the